Hello there, very good morning to you and welcome along to the Half Yard Sewing Club on the Half Yard Sewing Club Facebook and YouTube live this morning. Lovely to have your company. Now then, Angie's going to be sewing along with us this morning. Sabine's in Germany. Oh, we're busy already. Liz Deleuze, what a lovely name. Hello, good morning to you. Morning Janet, sorry if I missed anybody. Alison's got machines set up awaiting whilst on holiday in Wales. Oh, it's a good time to go on holiday with the weather at the moment, haven't you? Morning Jackie, morning Jen. Oh, Jen's got all the bits ready. Lovely. We're going to have a sew along and this is what we're going to be making. So it's ever so easy actually, but it's very effective. It's very big. It's bigger than you thought it would be. So I thought we'd have a bit of a sew along. So I'll take it slowly, so hopefully you can keep up with me. 3 a.m. in California, says Christy. Woohoo! Lana, oh, it's lovely here, Linda, as well. We've got a glorious day. Not too hot, but it's nice and sunny. Good day for walking the dog, who you can probably hear barking. Next door's at the bottom. I had to have a word. So can you be quiet? Because they're doing some building work. But they've got a dog, and they're kind of communicating through the fence at the moment. Lovely and sunny, says Anne in West Yorkshire. Morning, Helen. Alex wanted a white with 2 sugars. I think I've passed that on to Gary, but it's gone a bit like that. You are so on the ball. Who was that? Sorry. Kim Bowers. Yes, there is a little bit of wonkiness going on in the studio this morning. I shall explain more later. A quick overview of the Half Yard Club, because it is our Half Yard Club once a month, last Saturday of the month due. So for those of you that maybe you've seen the lives before, or particularly on YouTube, maybe you're popping along for the very first time and you're wondering what on earth this Half Yard Club business is all about. Basically, that's my subscription website, and the projects that you see around me here are just a few of the many projects that are now on the website. I'll show you really quickly. And you could have had a coffee. Sat in the sewing room is Kathy. So let me just show you quickly what goes on with the Half Yard Club, because we do have a fancy new website as well, which is rather exciting. You've only seen this once before if you're new. So this is it. So it is growing month by month or day by day at the moment as well. We've got so many projects on here. So when you sign in, once you've joined, this is what you're going to find. So I'm on the home page at the moment, and the latest project that we have is a made to measure skirt with darts. So you make it to fit yourself. I know a lot of you have been making these already, so it'd be lovely to see what you've actually been doing. Show me some pictures. The Daphne the Dragon was your secondary project. You get 2 a month, so Daphne was the second one. Your main project will have a video, so for the skirt here you will have a video and your instructions. This one doesn't have a video, but it does have a pattern. Then we have the block of the month. This was last month's project, which was a top. See more projects. So you can see there's quite a varied collection of different types of sewing. So there's our wonky door stops. We've got sewing machine dust covers, wonky cushion covers, there's patchwork, there's dressmaking, a little bit of quilting, bag making, aprons, something for the pets. And when you first join, there's dolls. You are going to be able to access every one of these projects on day 1, which I think is amazing. So when you click on the actual projects, so we've got toys, cosmetic bags, there's a bum bag. You'll go through to, that was a really popular one actually, the multi-use caddy, because it goes on the back of a wheelchair. It also goes on the back of a pushchair, but you can also just make it into an overnight bag if that is more suitable for you. And there's the video that goes along with it, which I haven't got the sound in at the moment, but that's quite an in-depth video for that one as well. Doesn't seem to be playing at the moment. So those are all your projects. We also have tips and techniques, and these grow every month. Some are videos and some are step-by-step instructions. So sewing with different types of fabric, different types of like cuffs and sleeves, cuffs and sleeves insertion. So a little bit of dressmaking as well, and that again is a video. I'm on a bit of a go slow with videos at the moment, but you get the idea. There's a little bit about me, and this is a nice page as well, which is Ask a Member. So you can, does the wonky doorstop come with a pattern and video? If I don't reply, Bob probably will. Yes, it's the April 21 pattern on this site with a video. What's the best way to put a pocket in the flap of a messenger bag? Now Megan's come back with a reply. Have a look at the multi-use wheelchair caddy. That has a flap pocket. So you can actually join in and be part of the whole club as well. Ask your questions and somebody will get back to you, whether it's myself or another member. So that's kind of an overview of what we're all about. We've been going from for about 3.5 years now. It's worldwide. There's nothing to post out, everything's downloadable, so we can invite people from all over the world. Morning Jules in Cumbria. Christy loves the sewing machine covers. So you can join from anywhere basically, and you'll have a main project at the beginning of the month. On the 1st of the month you will receive a project and a video and patterns. Next month, which is Tuesday, it's going to be the beach bag. So the beach bag with the I've got one here to show you, with the Dresden plate, is going to be next month's project. It's more about technique with this one, I think, because if you don't want to make a huge beach bag, you could use this technique for a cushion cover or a table runner, carry it onto a full circle if you wanted to. It's got a zip pocket on the back and it's got patch pockets on the inside as well. And of course you've got mesh pockets, so when you put your flip-flops in there, the sand falls through. So that's your main project, and then your secondary project is a little bit wonky. So Wonky Summer, at last, that's the 4th season of the Wonky cushion covers. And the bag's an alternative as well. I'm just throwing that one in as an extra. We've got 3 projects this month. That's an extra project for you as well. Oh, thank you, Dominica. I do hope you can stay. Carol B, good morning from Chicago. Alice has got a parcel this morning. Belinda's in South Africa. Hello. Again, I'm sorry if I missed you all. Christy, it's £5.99 a month, or $9.99 if you're in the States. I'm not sure where you are, or however that translates around the world. You can opt out whenever you want to, so you're not tied in for 6 months or 12 months. You can pay either monthly, or you can pay for an annual subscription, in which case you save 2 months. So what you can also do is try it out. So if you go to the website, go to the halfyardsewingclub.com and go all the way through to checkout. You will need to fill your details in because that's just the way that it works. When you go to checkout, there's a coupon box, and if you type in the word welcome in capital letters, you'll have a month for free. So you can have a look around, have a look at all of those projects, see if you think it's suitable for you. If you don't like it, then unsubscribe and you won't be charged anything at all. But I do hope you stay with us. Hello Maggie in Australia. Oh, and April in Australia, both came up at the same time, one on Facebook and one on YouTube. Oh, Deirdre's had a very sore knee replacement. Oh, I'm glad you're joining us anyway. Hopefully we'll put a smile on your face today. Deirdre. Sylvia's in Canada, she's a new member. Hello, welcome along. Hope you're enjoying it. Oh, you can put your own pictures on there as well. Shall we see what you've been up to? Because what was I doing there? Oh, I was asking a member. When you go on to sewing projects, and let's see if anybody's made a Daphne yet. Come along. We do have quite a slow internet today, I'm afraid. So if we go down to Daphne, view project. Oh, we haven't got any pictures from you yet. You can upload, it says drag and drop pictures here. Oh, you have, look, there you are. You can upload your own. Oh, look at these. So this is what you've been making. Amazing. So you can drop your own pictures in there as well. We will turn these around. I think these are quite new. Oh, it's lovely to see what you... Oh, look, somebody's made Daphne into a Stegosaurus. A something-asaurus. A Daphneosaurus, maybe. Fabulous. Oh, we're loving those. So that is... how do I get out of that? That's you. That's what you've been putting on there, which is really... It's really exciting. I love to see what you've been making. Oh, change from monthly to an annual. Erica, I can show you that as well. So when you go to my account, better if I showed you that, wouldn't it? There we go. Go to my account. So I've clicked on this up here, and account management, Update my payment details. I think it's that one. Oh no, it's not that one. Manage my personal information. Oh, it's somewhere on here. No, I don't want you there. You go away. Change my password. Log out. Account management. Oh, I'm going to be in trouble now because I can't remember. But when you go onto your account, there is an option on there to be able to change whether you're monthly or yearly. Do you know, I think what I've done, I'm actually on an administrator's page, so I can't do it on mine. But you can do that yourself. If you do have any problems at all, if you've got any questions, you can... Oh, Lisa, morning, Lisa with the spanner. Drop us an email. It's info@halfyardsewingclub.com. I'll put all these details in the description. Manage my subscription, was it that one? I can't do it on mine. Manage Nicola and Jill. Yes, manage my subscription. That's the one. Manage subscriptions. Yeah, thank you very much. Got me out of that one. Yeah, we can change it there. But if you do have any problems or if you've got any questions, drop us an email. There's somebody there. Actually, probably 7 days a week, because the girls do work very hard. And when I say girls, it's not just me. There's a whole team of us here now. So we have myself and my daughter Kim, who works for me, and then the whole site is run by Search Press, my publishers. So we have Emily, who's the editor. We have Caroline, who runs the business. And we have Emma, who makes the patterns professional. She's a graphic designer. Then we have Sophie and Claire, who do the social media. So there's quite a team of us. So there's always somebody there to answer your questions, to help you out. That's the nice thing about the club, I think, as well, because it's not like a magazine where there's your projects. We're interactive. We're here now. We take on board your comments and your questions. There's we get feedback on our Facebook page and on the actual channel itself. We have members interacting and talking to themselves and talking to others from all around the world as well. You know, there's help and advice, and we do take on board suggestions. We've got pages and pages of suggestions of projects for you. So we do go through those every 6 months or so when we're planning all the projects that are coming up. And if there's something that a lot of you are requesting, like the wheelchair bag, for instance, that was one of your requests, then we'll try and do it. I did forget Gary. Gary is responsible for photography and coffee, and making me very happy and taking me out for dinner this afternoon. We're going to have oysters. They're there. Joyce, I'll see you later. Oh, thank you very much, Sarah W. Not a problem. Right, we better do some sewing, hadn't we? Because it is a sew along, and I do have this habit of just talking forever. So do we have our fabrics chopped up and ready to go? Have you got your zip? Have you got a ribbon, your fusible fleece and a plate? Now these can be made in any size you like as well. So if you're watching this back later, or you don't want to make one as big as this, you just need a plate. It could be a little plate, could be an even bigger one if you wish. So I'm just going to plug my iron in while you're just looking at a pair of scissors. So I have my outer fabrics, and I'm going to use this one, just clear a space. Oh, Sarah, it's rubbish. House move doesn't seem to be anywhere on the horizon at the moment. So those are my outer fabrics. They're a little bit bigger than you actually need them, because I do like a little bit of wiggle room. Hi Carolyn from the Wirral, brand new to the Half Yard Club, welcome along. Let me know if you're joining today, and let me know if you're new. Maybe it's the first time you've been here on YouTube or on Facebook. Oh yes, we do like an oyster, you know, Patricia. Actually, Gary's so hooked on oysters, and he's really missed not being able to go to restaurants and everything. So he just, oh, that's a bit steamy. Hello, Cynthia from Cairns, is that in Queensland? Welcome along. The towel roll. Anyway, here we go. So I need, oh, and I've got my lining piece. Now I gave you the total amount of fabric that you need, but that actually needs cutting down into two. So in effect, I've got two lining pieces, the same size as the two outer pieces. So let's chop that in half. Like so. So we'll put those to one side for just a moment, and I'm going to put my fusible fleece on the wrong side of these, the two outer pieces. Now, I know some of you have got ahead of the game. Cooking oysters, Sarah? Definitely not. Mind you, I have to admit, I do like an oyster with a little bit of hollandaise sauce on the top, and then grated cheese, and then grilled. Ooh, can't wait till 5 o'clock. So I'm using H640, which is a Valaiseline fusible interfacing. If you've not seen this before, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and it just adds a nice kind of padding, a little bit of softness to the bag, gives it a little bit of stability and a little bit of oomph. Oh, Anne, first time she's made a comment. We want lots more comments from you, Anne. And welcome along, joined 4 weeks ago. Oh, Sheila's on a phone. Oh, watching in tiny mode. You can watch us on the TV if you've got smart TV on YouTube. Yes, Celia, I have my large iron because I want the steam, because the H640 adheres better when it's a bit steamy, and my little iron it's just not up to the job. Not for lots of steam. So again, I know some of you have already got this stuck on, but if you're starting from scratch with me, oysters, Worcester sauce and bacon pieces and grilled. We're a bit posh, you know, here. We have our moments, don't we? Why are you not steaming? I've been jinxed by the little iron with big iron envy, I think. Can I use fusible interfacing instead? Yes, you can, Heather. Quite firm, if you've got it, would be good. If it's not on the website at the moment, I am sure there is some in the office. We'll try and get it back on again very soon, because I'm sure we do have some new stock of that. Jill joined the Half Yard Club yesterday. Welcome along. All right, so again, lots of heat, lots of steam. Not impressed with you. Oh, there we go. And then we'll just put this to one side. So it's not the most interesting thing watching me iron, is it? So I'll just cut that down the middle. And then we'll start making our pattern. So get your plates and your pens ready. Right. So I'm going to do this on a lining piece. If you wanted to make a paper pattern first, then that's a jolly good thing to do. And the summer wonky bag, I think it's going to be around the 15th, around when the cushion comes out as well. Right, then I'm going to draw around the plate. And I think the plate's 10.5 inches. Then move it along and draw around it again. And that's all I need that for. And then you take a ruler. Hi Sue in Brisbane. And I'm just going to draw a line from the top and the bottom of the two circles. And that's my oval shape. Okay. And I'm just cutting one out at the moment. And again, this is my lining fabric. I'm not cutting this from the second piece of lining, I'm just cutting it from one piece of lining here. Oh, you've gone there. What are you doing there? Alex's dog's barking. Right. The wonky things are kind of really nice little projects as well. I've seen, who was it who made the Wonky Streak peg bag as a request and put a picture on Facebook? That was really nice. So I kind of like projects where you can use them for different things. So any of those Wonky Streak cushions, you could make bags out of them. And of course, once you get the idea, they're not that difficult to resize. So if you wanted to make a cosmetics bag with wonky houses on it, I think that would be really sweet as well. It's a wonky life, isn't it? Oh, thank you very much, Janet. Thank you, Maya. Oh, well, Susan's fairly new as well. She says it's the best thing ever. I'm glad you like the club so much. There's been an awful lot of time and thought and passion put into the whole thing from everybody. We absolutely love it. Oh, Amelia Day, housework on a Saturday morning. What are you playing at? So that's that. Okay, now we're going to do the zipped section. So zip section goes here. Our zip's actually going to be a little bit shorter than this one. It's only after I made that one up I thought, oh, zip's a little bit too long. So that's just being honest with you. We're going to make the zip, well, we've got 12-inch zips. So we're going to do this bit here, which has a join across the side. So our join is going to be a little bit higher up. So I'm going to do this with my plainer fabric. So I'm going to cut the ends off. And then we're going to cut 5.5 inches from each end. So this piece is 22 inches this way and 12 inches that way. And I'm just going to chop 5.5 inches off the ends. And I'm going to chop 5.5 inches off this end as well. So I've got that. And then this piece, I'm just going to trim that off. It will be trimmed down a little bit anyway, but I'll just take that fleece off the edge because that looks a bit confusing. I'm going to fold this in half. So the zip's going to go across this piece here. Oh, thank you, Erica, reviewing my latest book on Amazon. Slip that back, so there's my centre line. And I'm going to chop that across there. Are we keeping up okay? Am I explaining everything okay? Is it making sense? So my zip's going to sit in the middle here. So I need to now do the same with the second lining piece. So that could probably do with an iron actually, but I don't normally like to work with creased up fabric. So 5.5 inches off this end. Oh, I think I need a new blade on there. Thank you, Susan. And then I'm just going to, I think my yellow is slightly smaller. And I want that to be the same then. So just the same. That looks a little bit short, I'm not worried about that. Yours won't be because you've measured yours properly. So 2 pieces each measuring 5.5 inches here. And then I am going to just iron that because a little crease like this in your fabric can affect the size. Oh, Alice is lost. Oh, I'll do it again. I'll do it again in just a second, Alice. There is a little bit of math involved. but I thought I'd done all that, so it made it easier. Right, bear with me and I'll go over it again. So that's my lining fabric. That's 5.5 inches, that's 5.5 inches. That will now measure 11 inches long, right? By 6 inches each that way. So that's 6 inches, that's 6 inches, that's 11. These are 5.5. And then it's the same with the outer fabric. So that's as it was when it was all in one piece. So that's 22 inches by 12 inches. So I chop 5.5 inches off each end and then chop this piece in half, and that's where the zip's going to be down the centre. So that is basically that, but curved over. We're making this, Yvette. Okay, so now we're going to put the zip in. So I'm going to do these, I'm going to put that to one side, that to one side. Don't need that for a moment. So I'll do them one piece at a time. Your zip's going to be a little bit too long, which is fine. That's what we like. I'll just bring in my machine. If you want to put the zipper foot on your machine, then do so now. I don't think I've got one. Oh, I have got one here. I don't always put a zipper foot on the machine, but I will for this one. So zipper feet on. Don't lose that one. Oh, Janet's had a nice long shower. Well, I do like you all to be squeaky clean on a Saturday morning, I have to say. And Pamela, oh, see, we're all very clean and posh here at Half Yard Sewing Club, you know. So that's one of the zip sections from the centre, and I'm going to put the zip across the top of that facing down, so the slider is facing down, and I'm going to sew all the way around along the centre of the zip tape. So I'm just going to move the needle over a bit. If you have a computerised sewing machine, which doesn't obviously have, a straight stitch doesn't have a width, but you should be able to use the stitch width adjustment to move the needle across, so you can position your needle right down the centre of the zip tape. So I've got that, and then I'm going to take one of the lining pieces, so the same bit, and place that over the top. And I like to sew from this side so I can see where the stitches are already, and we're going to sew across the same stitch, lining up the edge of the fabric at the top there. Morning, Cynthia. Morning, Bernadette. If you've got any questions, if I don't catch them straight away, what Lisa does is write to me in capital letters, then she's shouting at me. Hi Chrissy, California. Oh, so I just put another message up, because your message, I've got two screens here, with one with Facebook and one with YouTube, and the messages are coming up like this all the time, so do bear with me if I miss your questions. But if you're sewing along and you want me to go back over something, or you just want to say, slow down, Debbie Shaw, can't keep up, or if you want to say, get a move on, I'm ahead of you, then come and let me know. Right, so I'm going exactly over the same line as what I just did. So we've got that. So that's how we're going to look from the top. And again, this is this part of the bag that we're making here. So that's going to be that, basically. So we need to put the second side on here. So ignore the bit you've just done. I want the zip to go right side down onto the second side. So line up the edges again here. You see how I like zips that are too long, and we'll sew all the way down the side. Oh, Sarah, and I'm going slow as well. So if you prefer to pin, then you know that's fine. I find it easier not to with zips, to be honest. And sew again straight down the centre of the zip tape. Like so. So I've got the outer fabric on each side of the zip. I just need to put the second piece of lining fabric on and trap the zip in between the two pieces. So again, place that over the top, and just like before, I like to sew from this side. I know you can, you know, if you're more confident, sew both pieces of fabric together at the same time around the zip. I prefer not to. Should we do that? Because
coffee.
Oh, I'd love a cup of coffee, yes please.
We wanted one sugar.
That was Alex. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I've got a new rotary cutter as well, lovely. Even when I'm sewing at home, I will still, oh, that's going to mark the table. I'll still sew in this way. I never sandwich the zip in between the two and sew the two together, because I like to be precise with my zips, and I like to see that stitch line. So on the first row of stitches, I'll sew on the zip tape, so I know I'm sewing right down the centre. And then the second time, honestly, the second time, I mean, I'm not very good at this vision mixing. I'll sew from this side so I can see where I've been. So it may be quicker to sew them all together, but this is how I like to do it. It's more time consuming, but less time consuming than having to unpick if I'm not happy with the stitches. Right. Patricia doesn't want one, she's got one already, Gary. So we've got this. So now I'm going to sew down each side of here. A little tip for you, if you do have any 505 spray, move you out of the way. If you just, you know, don't rush out and buy any, it's not especially important, but that will just help to hold those two pieces flat while you sew them, if you have any. Get your spray out now and give it a little bit of a blast. Oh, I can't stand Tea Craft Angel. Horrible stuff. Right. So we have that. So I'm just going to pull that a bit more actually. You can press that into place if you wish. I just need to make sure the lining is away from the back, away from the zip, and then we'll sew down each side. Michelle, I'll have to get him on camera at some point, won't I? So I'm actually going to put my regular foot back on again now because I find it easier. Let's see what I've done with it. It does, Jackie, doesn't it? It makes it a little bit stronger. Going there before I lose it. And then let's just sew down the edge. So I'm lengthening the stitch because it's a top stitch, it's not a seam. Stretch that out and sew straight down. So I'm pulling the fabric away from the zip, I'm not pushing it under the needle. And then same on this side. It will make the zip more secure. To be honest, there's not going to be a lot of weight bearing in this bag, but I suppose it's good practice anyway, isn't it? But it keeps the fabric from getting stuck in the zip because it's held nice and flat on both sides there. So that's what we've got here. Right, now I'm going to chop the zip down to size. So make sure you don't chop off the end of the zip pull. And I'm going to just sew over the end of that. So where the zip's open, I'm just going to put the two sides of the zip together and just sew over it, just to hold it in place. Then we're going to have a little bit of ribbon. And hi Maggie, welcome along. Let's chop about 1.5 inches off there. And I'm going to fold that over, and I'm going to put just a little tab each side of the zip there. Gives you something to hang on to when you're pulling the zip open and shut. Right, I have sound going out on YouTube, Heather, so I don't know what's going on there. It's not from this end. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this. You can pin it, you don't have to. Again, just pin it or put it on the end there. If you've got glue, that's great, but if you haven't, then stick a pin in it. So fold that over, and that's going to be facing inwards. And then I'm just going to put a few stitches across there. Hello, Joella in Florida. Nice to have you on board. So just a quick stitch straight across the end. Whoops. This is my sewing machine, Emma. It is a Janome Experience. It's an Elna actually, but it's the same thing. It's a 570A, and it's a lovely little machine. I bought it from Sewing Street. I'm not sure if they have any in stock at the moment, but I actually bought it for my daughter. And I know I've said before, but I do buy my sewing machines. I'm not an ambassador for anybody. So if I recommend something, it's because I really do believe in it, not because I'm being paid to say so. My machine that I use in the house is a Janome 660. Which isn't actually made anymore, but I can't justify upgrading. But this one, it is a really lovely little machine actually, yes. Right, so we've got that. Now we're going to put these end pieces on. No, again I'm going to iron it. Sorry, these wrinkles are getting on my nerves. That's better. Are we all keeping up okay? Is anybody actually sewing along, or are you going to catch up later on, or have you lost the will? That's better. Now I'm going to take the end pieces, which are coming away. So these are, remember, the two pieces that did this. And these are going to go right sides together. So I've got the zip pull in the middle there to keep it away, and I'm going to sew these down the edge. By the way, I'm only using the edge of my sewing machine foot as a seam allowance, so I'm not, I'd say 1/4 inch would be fine. Whoops, sorry about the noise. And this time actually I can do both pieces at the same time. So I'm going to sew that one to the lining and this one to the top at the same time. So we'll have some pins in there. A Wonky Street coaster is a nice idea. Jackie's going to re-watch later. Oh, Mary, welcome along to the Half Yard Club. Let us know what you're going to make, won't you? And share your pictures as well. I love seeing those pictures. Pictures of the dragon are amazing. All right, so I've got this. And we'll just sew straight down the edge there. Shall we do that again? A little bit of screen in screen. Jane's doing a muddy dog challenge for Bettersea. Bettersea? Amazing. Just shorten that length a bit. What's a muddy dog challenge? What do you have to do? See how muddy your dog can get? Bobbin would hate that. lifting on the left wide enough? No, Annie, I said when I cut it, my orange fabric was a bit short, but it's fine because we're going to cut that down anyway. So I'm not worried about that. It's ended up about an inch shorter than the other side, but yours won't be because you'll have followed the measurements properly. Right, and then that on that side. See, that one's the right width, just got that one wrong. And that on that side. And we'll stick a few pins in here as well. A doll bag, Linda, is a lovely idea with Wonky Street. So Zoe, that's a project for you then. Tea cozy, coasters, tray mat, everything wonky. We're living in a wonky world. That was a bit wonky as well. Let me just line that up again. So we are going to use the oval lining that we've already cut out as a template for this. So that's why I'm not too worried about mine ending up a little bit shorter. Always, of course, taking your pins out before you sew, because we don't sew the pins. And it's a good coffee. Then we'll press that again. And again, you could give that a spray if you wanted to, with your 505. Denise, I don't have very much room here. I do have a new mic, I just haven't had time to sort it out, my radio mic. So at the moment, I'm literally tied to my equipment, so I've got about 2 feet that I can move side to side. Normally I would stand to cut. Sit to sew, stand to cut definitely. Okay, so we have this. And now I'm going to just top stitch across here. So again, I can lengthen my stitch. I'm going up to a 2.8. Hello Norelle in Brisbane, nice to have you along. And I'm just going to sew just along the one side this time of that seam. And then the same on the other side. So that again just gives it a nice finish, doesn't it? It looks more professional. Are we keeping up? Tell you what I have to be very careful of, Celia, is doing this. It's quite nice sewing it on this counter because it's exactly the right height. But if I'm doing something like, free motion embroidery particularly, I can actually feel my shoulders going up and getting tighter, so I have to be very aware to kind of put my shoulders back. Mary's got a dodgy thumb, what have you been doing? Okay, so that is that. So now let's take our oval template, place it over the top, just make sure the zip's in the centre, and we're going to cut around here. Do you know, that is too short. So I'm going to rectify that. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute, because I gave you the right measurements and I cut it out the wrong measurements, so I'm going to just fix it with a little bit of extra fabric. So it's the end of the world. So I'm just going to join a bit on here. And it's on the lining, so it's on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. Because we can't have a lining turning out short, can we? Oh, Patricia's getting hair and nails done. She's having a beauty MOT this morning. Morning, Beverly. It's better. Right. So now let's put this over the top. Pop a few pins in, make it straight, and then we'll cut around it. Yep, I'm surprised you can hear bobbing. It's because it's sunny. She loves sitting out in the garden. She won't come in here, but she does have her blanket outside on the floor with a toy, and she's having a whale of a time, barking at anybody that walks past. So again, I'm literally cutting around that first oval that we made right at the beginning to create the shape of the bag. And then I need to do the same with the second outer piece. Right, so that's lining. Like so. I'm going to put a little squirt of glue in there as well, actually. Just to hold that down. Again, you don't need to do that, it just might help a little bit if you happen to have some handy. So we've got that, and that's the lining at the back. So let's take the second piece of the outer section, and I'm going to cut the same shape from the lining again as I did previously. So all my pieces will be oval shaped. Morning, Irakma in Rio de Janeiro. It's early in the morning over there. Right. Anne's going to make a rainbow unicorn cake. Show us pictures, Anne, won't you, when you're done? So again, let's cut around the oval. So all my pieces are the same oval shape. Right, and then we'll start piecing the whole thing together. Calico suitable backing for one. Yes, calico is going to be fine, Celia. Calico is a little bit underrated, or muslin as you call it in the States, because it's a cheaper fabric. It's got quite a loose weave, but it's unbleached, it's untreated, so the cost of it is very low. But it's actually really nice fabric, and it's the same kind of colour as the canvas that I've been using as well, so it looks really organic and really natural. Oh, thank you. A wonky birthday bear. Want to see your pictures of wonky birthday bears. That would look amazing. Oh, Amy, 6:50 where you are in the morning. Oh, a bit early for the sewing. Maybe not. Right. Let's start putting these together. So that I can line these up. I did use a friction pen on there, so let's just take that away. I'm just going to fold in half and put a little snip here, just a tiny snip to mark the center point. That's going to be in the seam allowance. You could use a pen if you wish. And I'm going to do the same this way, just so I've got the center of the end. I'm going to do this on all of the pieces so I can line them all up. So same here, just a tiny snip. And let's fold it in half this way and do the same again. And then finally with my main piece, it's a little bit bulky there, but you can still see where I am. So I'm all the way through, right through to the lining. And the same on this side. My plate was 10.5 J, but a 10-inch plate will be absolutely fine. You can use any size of circle you like. That'll just depict the size of the bag. 10.5 inches, probably the biggest you can go for with this size of fabric that I've given you. But you could certainly make smaller. If you've got a 10-inch, fine. If you've got a 9-inch, 8-inch, whatever that may be, absolutely fine. All right, just trim that back a little bit. So next up we're going to put the ribbon on to tie it. So I'm going to cut two pieces, I can't remember what measurements I gave you, about 10 inches long. So these are the two bits that are going to go here. So as you can see, those are right in the center of the zip section. So let's pop one there, facing inwards, just across the mark that I made to mark the center. So I'm just about to knock everything off the table. And then pop this one on the other side. So we have that. So this part's already got its lining attached to it. So let's take the zip open. Let's take the opposite outer piece, and I'm going to join this short round end to the center of the side here. And we'll have a pin in there. And then turn it over and take the short end here and pop that, you out of the way, over the center there, and we'll pin it. And then the same with these ends. So you can see how the shape of it's coming together now. And the same with that end. Is that all making sense? So there's my snip bit, there's my snip bit. So you can see the shape of the bag now. So I'll carry on putting a few more pins in here before we sew it, because we want that to be nice and even. It will match up perfectly because these two ovals are exactly the same size. There we go, around here. This one's quite an old one, Patricia. It's not been making these for donkey's years. I think a lot of people do. I just thought it's something that it'd be quite nice to revisit. Right, on this side. But I've only seen small ones before, to be perfectly honest. Jenny, you're not keeping up. Where have you gone? I've lost my mouse. What, you stuck? Where are you? How far have you got? Come and let me know. Do you want me to undo and go back over anything? Come and let me know, because it's nice when you're sewing along that you can actually keep up. So lots of pins around there. A few more on this bit. Never have enough pins when you're sewing around curves. And that's the last bit there. Right. Oh, missed that bit. Okay, and then we're going to sew all the way around. All right. Sam's got as far as 2 panels with a zip in. Do you want me to hold on a little bit, or can you watch back later? So when you pin them, Jen, you've got the one that way and one that way. So you've got, let me show you again. So if that's your oval, I'm just going to, is that long enough? I'm just going to cut another knot just to show you. So this isn't part of the bag. So if you're okay and you're up to date and you're happy with everything, fine, carry on. I'm just doing this for Jen to show how to put them together again, because I don't want it to be confusing. So just roughly cutting out another oval. Okay, so you've marked the centre here and the centre there. So let me just crease all of those so you can really see clearly what I've done. So I made a little snip in the centre pieces. The other lining piece, Joan, has already been sewn into the bag. So that's to mark the centre that way. And let's just mark the centre this way. So these will be one outer and one lining piece. So just to show you how to put them together. So you'll need to kind of arrange them in a cross. All right. And then this piece will go to the side of that one. Over here. And then the opposite end of that goes to the side here. And then turn it around, and this side goes to the round end here. And this side goes to the round end there. So that's how you get the shape of the bag. Does that make more sense? So then when you pin them all together, you get this. And the other lining is already on here. So we only need one remaining piece of lining now when you put it all together. So I hope that's okay. So let me just take that out because we don't need that. So I'll need one more piece of lining, which we cut out earlier on. I'll put that to one side for now. So all I'm sewing together are the 2 outer sections. The outer section with the zip, right sides together with the remaining oval outer section. And then we'll sew all the way around. So take your time around this because it's all curves. And we want it to stay curvy. So matching up those edges again, if they do tend to come undone as you're sewing, keep it nice and curvy. Now be be careful when you're sewing on curves as well, because curves will be cut on the bias, so they will stretch, but that can be to your advantage if, see, can you see here, I've got a pin there, so I know that's in the middle. That looks as though it's grown a little bit. A walking foot can help, but sometimes your sewing machine foot can push one layer of fabric quicker than another. But because this is cut on the bias, I can ease it. So I can pull it into shape without leaving any puckers and make it meet. Just like if you're putting in a sleeve in a dress or a blouse. Ease it into shape, make it meet, so by the time I get to the next pin here, that's lined up perfectly. But it's just be aware when you're sewing anything circular, it can stretch very easily, so that's why lots and lots of pins are a benefit. There we go. And I'm just smoothing out the lining because I don't want it to pucker. I'll just keep going all the way around. Mary's not going to be beaten. Once you've done it, Mary, it's kind of the penny drops. It's a really simple bag. Alright, just keep going around, bear with me. See who's there. Yes, Susan, walking feet are amazing. There is one that comes with this machine actually, but I tend to forget to put it on. My Janome machines have got a built-in walking foot, so I don't need to change it. There we go. This is so satisfying when it all comes out and you turn it the right side out and it just looks amazing. It's a really satisfying project. Almost there. Well, halfway there. It's almost there, isn't it? The foot pedal's disappearing as well. It is easy, Susan. It's one of those things that looks very complicated until you know. Like most things, isn't it? But it's once you've done one, it'll make sense. You'll be making them in all different shapes and sizes. Right, so I'm back to the beginning with a whole load of pins. Bear with me a sec, just putting my pins away. They should have gone straight back in the pincushion, I know, but you know. Okay, so this is how we're looking. So now this is going to get a little bit, not complicated, but a little bit bulky, because we now need to put the final piece of lining on, which obviously needs to cover this bit here. So that needs to go over there, but I don't want to see the raw edges. So it's going to have to go right sides together, which means it's going to have to go from this side. So let's push all of this out of the way. So where the lining side is already, I need to sew this together. Okay, so let me explain this properly. Let's go back to that again. I want the lining to cover this bit, but I don't want to see raw edges, so it needs to be sewn right sides together, which means it needs to be sewn on the opposite side of this. So let's do it this way. I've already got the marks cut out, look. So that's the long side, and that's the long side of this bit. So let's find my centre mark and pin that. This, my wadding is Valiseline H640. We don't sell things on the Half Yard Club website, Janet. There's offers for books and things like that on there, but we don't actually sell anything apart from the subscriptions. But H640 should be available on my website on Debbie Shaw Sewing. And don't forget, you get 10% discount if you're a club member. If it's not on there now, I'll get some later on this afternoon. Right. So let's take the other side, move all that out of the way, and that needs to go right sides together here. So this is where it starts to look a little bit, ooh, what's going on here? But it'll work, don't worry. So again, let me do it again. I want to get this right. Needs to be like that, but it needs to be right sides together. So take the long edge, this is the long edge, and pin where that mark was. So the second part of the long edge needs to go right sides together with this, so it's got to wrap all the way around. So that's going to go here. And then my short round edge needs to go to this short round edge, with the two marks meeting up. And then this round edge to this round edge, with the little marks all meeting up. So it looks like a big old knot, but believe me, it's going to work. And then we'll have pins all the way around. And this time I'm going to sew from the same side I've just sewn, so again I can actually see the stitches. And I need to leave a turning gap. So again, make sure your zip's open, so we can turn that through. You're right, Mary, friction pens really can spoil your fabric. So if you are intending to use them on the outside of your fabric, you know, if you're doing free motion embroidery and you want to draw a pattern, test first. Because you may find that when you put the iron on there, you get a white bleach mark instead of your pen mark. But within seam allowances, not a problem. So again, it is looking knotty, but I'm not worried about what's going on here. I'm just making sure that the raw edges are meeting up. And again, it'll fit perfectly because all the shapes are the same and all the same size. That would be nice, Cher, back in the same fabric as your dress, very coordinated. To be honest, Sylvia, the first time I did this, and it's not an original design or anything. This style has been around for a long time, which isn't copying, because I do like to put my twist on things, and I like to try and make things easier to explain, because initially the book that I saw this in donkeys years ago was so difficult to understand, but once you do it, it's the penny drops. It's a lot easier than you think. Okay, so let's sew around the edge again, and like I said, I like to sew from the side that I've just sewn, so I can sew over the same stitches. And remember, you will have to leave a turning gap of about 4 or 5 inches, enough to get your hand in. So let's get a little bit of this underway before we do that. I won't forget the gap, Jill. But it wouldn't be the first time if I did. Donkey's years. Is that not something that is said? Apparently donkey's years initially came from donkey's ears because they were very long. So when we talk about, oh, that was donkey's years ago, Originally it was donkey's ears ago. Did I miss a compliment there, Janet? But that's very nice, Mary, to say that we're a family. I don't presume it's us you're talking about. Or don't like a raw edge, Lisa. Don't like to see raw edges anywhere. Oh, Patricia, I wouldn't even know how to write this. No, I do a lot of written tutorials, as you probably gathered, with books in the Half Yard Club and everything. And some things are just, how do I say that? How would I word that? I've not forgot the gap. I'm going to do the gap on a straight bit. It sounds muffled. It shouldn't be muffled. Maybe it's because I've got the machine going at the same time. Right, I'll leave the gap there, so I'm going to back stitch and stop and move around and down and carry on. And we're almost done. Are we there? Oh, not quite. A little bit further. Now you will have a little bit of hand sewing to do with the gap. Let's see if we've got time. Right, so let's have a quick coffee before it goes cold. Thank you, Lisa. So again, it looks all a little bit knotty. But let's turn it all through. This is where I'm thinking, I hope I haven't sewn over that ribbon. I didn't pay too much attention to keeping it out of the way. We've got a TP Amanda in my Sew Outdoor Living book, as a matter of fact. The only difficult thing about it is the size of it, having that much fabric. Oh, Kathy's almost missed it. Always watch it back again, it's going to be there forever. Could have made the turning gap a little bit bigger, methinks. I told the neighbours to be quiet for an hour, so if they start again, then I thought. Gonna have an ah moment, Daisy. Come on. Now then, when you first turn it through, look at this. I've just shown you how to make that look. That was good, isn't it? Now, when you first turn it through, it'll still be inside out. Let's push all these out. And it'll look like that. And you'll have an awl, which I shan't do now actually, because I can't even see if I've got a needle and thread here. But you'll need to sew that by hand. So the smaller you can leave the turning gap, the better. But just a little over edge stitch. If you sew it on a machine, then I should have done that on a straighter bit, to be honest. You're going to see the stitches through on the outside, so you do need to do that by hand. So it'll be inside out when you first turn it through. And turn it through again, and you've got that. Now I'm going to give that a quick iron, because things always look better when they've been pressed, don't they? So let me try and flatten the seam on it. Actually, my original one was a directional fabric, Anna, but I used it from side to side, so the fabric was actually that way, but I went across the fabric instead of down it, and it worked. That one's a non-directional. So I'm just going to iron it around the seam, make it a little bit better. Oh, so I feel like I'm eavesdropping when you're having conversations between each other. We do have good neighbours, Annabelle. We don't socialise with them or anything like that, but they seem very nice people. They haven't lived there very long. that's about it, isn't it? Maybe a bit of a steam from the top. Oh, I meant to do steam and I just squirted myself with water. There you go. Okay. So that's finished. So you've got a nice size of bag there, actually. So zip that up, top folds over, and then you can tie that up with a ribbon. Which you can use as a handle as well, if you wanted to. And there you go. So I think that's quite sweet. I hope you've enjoyed making yours, and I can't wait to see your pictures. If you've got any questions or anything, then do come through and ask, won't you? That does kind of lift up a little bit when it's got stuff in it. It's a lot roomier in there than you actually imagine. And again, when you open it up, there's your zip section, and you've got quite a large bag, which is really fun to make. So actually smaller ones would be nice as well, wouldn't it? A plique would be a very good idea as well. Rana's made lots of tote bags watching the videos, lovely. Sam, don't get crumbs on your bag, will you, when you're making it? But again, if you want to make a smaller version of it, then just use smaller plates, and you could do something that's quite small and, you know, purse sized as well if you wanted to. Okay, well, I'm going to nip off. Just a quick reminder, if you do want to join us on the Half Yard Club, if you haven't joined us already, use the code WELCOME, just WELCOME in capital letters, and you can have a month for free. And then you can have a look at all of the projects that we have on there. We don't just give you, you know, you can look at the corner of the screen for free. You can look at everything for free for a whole month. So you'll find on there about at least 24 projects to keep you going, and there will be bags, and there'll be homewares and cushion covers and dressmaking and jackets and kimonos and toys and children's items, and of course lots of bags as well. So a really varied amount, and I'd love to see you there, so do come and join us if you can. Otherwise, I shall see you again next Saturday. Let me just have a catch up over on YouTube as well. Next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on YouTube and on my Facebook page, and I shall be on the Debbie Shaw Sewing website and Facebook and YouTube on Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon as well. I will, in fact, on Facebook there is a list of all of the dates where I'm popping up, and on YouTube, if you subscribe to the channel, then I send out an email to everybody to let you know when I'm going to be live there as well, or if there's a recorded video going out there as well. So that, if you give us a thumbs up and a subscription, would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris. Right, I'll see you Wednesday, Mary. It's lovely to have your company again. Oh, Mia, I'm hoping I didn't make it sound too confusing. Again, once you get going with it, once you've had a go, it's really a very simple bag to make. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's bank holiday weekend, isn't it, this weekend? What are you up to? Anyway, back to time we went. It's 12:15. Neighbours want to start drilling. So I shall see you again very, very soon. Thanks for your company. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.